My beloved child, stop scrolling. This message is not an accident. It is for you right now. My child, stop hesitating. Stop standing at the edge of what you already know you are meant to enter. This fear you keep calling wisdom is not protecting you anymore. It is delaying you. You have replayed the risks 1,000 times in your mind. You've imagined what could go wrong, what could fail, what could be lost if you move forward. And because fear sounds logical when it speaks calmly, you began listening to it. You told yourself waiting was patience. You told yourself staying still was safety. But hear me clearly now. There is a difference between waiting on me and hiding from growth. You are not standing still because you lack ability. You are standing still because you are afraid of becoming responsible for what happens next. And I am not condemning you for that. I am calling you out of it. Have I not commanded you? Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid. Do not be discouraged, for the Lord your God will be with you wherever you go. That command was not given to someone who felt ready. It was given to someone standing at the edge of uncertainty. So are you. You keep asking for more confirmation. One more sign. One more reassurance. One more moment where fear completely disappears. But fear does not disappear before obedience. It fades after movement. You want clarity without commitment, confidence without risk, assurance without action. That is not how forward motion works. When Peter stepped out of the boat, the water did not become solid first. He stepped while it was still unstable. And yes, he noticed the wind. Yes, he felt fear. But the miracle did not begin when the storm stopped. It began when he moved despite it. You are not stuck because you don't know what to do. You are stuck because stepping forward would force you to let go of control. Staying where you are feels painful, but familiar pain feels safer than unfamiliar growth. And yet, I have never asked you to walk alone. I have only asked you to walk with me. Be honest with yourself. You are not only afraid of failure, you are afraid of disappointment, especially if you give your best and it still doesn't work. You are afraid that if you step forward and fall, you will confirm every doubt you already whisper to yourself at night. You are afraid of being seen trying, seen hoping, seen believing again. Because failure hurts, but public failure wounds pride. That is why you delay. That is why you stay preparing. That is why you keep telling yourself it's not time yet. But hiding does not heal fear. Avoidance does not build faith. And delay does not protect destiny. Moses was afraid to speak. Gideon was afraid he was too small. Jeremiah was afraid he was too young. None of them felt qualified. And none of them were chosen because they felt ready. They were chosen because they were willing. Fear does not mean you are off track. Fear often means you are standing exactly where growth begins. You keep saying, "I'll move when I feel stronger." But strength grows after obedience, not before it. You are asking me to remove fear before you step. I am asking you to step so fear can lose its power. I am not disappointed in your hesitation, but I will not allow you to confuse comfort with calling. If you stay where you are, you will remain safe, but you will also remain frustrated, because safety without purpose slowly becomes suffocation. I am not pushing you recklessly. I am calling you forward intentionally. The ground ahead may feel unfamiliar, but it is not unsupported. Do not be afraid to step forward. I am already there. My child, you think staying still is neutral. It is not. Every season you remain where you have already outgrown, something inside you slowly withers. Not loudly, not dramatically, quietly. You begin to feel restless, irritated, numb, or disconnected. Not because you are ungrateful, but because your spirit knows you are meant for more movement than you are allowing. You keep measuring risk, but you are not measuring loss. The loss of momentum, the loss of confidence, the loss of time you will never get back. Fear convinces you that stepping forward could cost you everything, but staying where you are is already costing you pieces of yourself. Think about Lot's wife. She wasn't destroyed for walking away. She was destroyed for looking back. The danger was not the future. It was attachment to what God had already called her out of. What once sustained you cannot always carry you forever. I am not asking you to leap blindly. I am asking you to stop pretending that staying still is safer than obedience. You notice something strange. The resistance increased right when you considered moving forward. Doubt got louder. Distractions multiplied. old fears resurfaced. Suddenly, staying put felt more appealing than ever. That is not coincidence. Storms often rise when direction is correct. Opposition intensifies when purpose is near. The enemy does not waste energy distracting people who are not moving. When Israel stood at the edge of the Red Sea, fear screamed louder than faith. Water in front, enemies behind, no visible path. But the command was not to wait for the sea to part. It was to move first. And only after they stepped did the way open. You keep asking me to remove the storm. I am asking you to walk through it with me, because storms do not mean I am absent. Sometimes they mean you are exactly where destiny begins. This is where your thinking has been wrong. You imagine stepping forward alone, carrying the outcome, managing the risk, handling the consequences by yourself. That belief is what makes fear unbearable. But I have never sent you ahead without my presence. When Abraham stepped into the unknown, I went with him. When Ruth stepped into uncertainty, I covered her. When Esther stepped into danger, I positioned favor around her. You are not stepping forward to prove yourself. You are stepping forward because I am already sustaining what comes next. I do not call you to places where grace cannot reach you. You will not be abandoned mid-step. You will not be left exposed without provision. You will not be punished for obedience. Even if the path challenges you, it will not destroy you. You can feel it, even now. This pressure, this stirring, this sense that something must change. That is not anxiety. That is conviction. You have learned what you needed to learn here. You have grown as much as this place can grow you. And if you stay longer, you will not become safer. You will become smaller. Do not wait until fear disappears. Do not wait until conditions are perfect. Do not wait until everyone understands. Faith has always moved before certainty. Step forward with trembling if you must, but step. Because I do not meet you only at destinations. I meet you in motion. My child, let me tell you something you do not yet understand. The hardest part was never the path ahead. It was the decision to move. Once you step forward, clarity begins to follow. Not all at once, not loudly, but steadily. What felt confusing starts to simplify. What felt heavy begins to loosen its grip. Peace does not arrive because everything becomes easy. It arrives because you are finally aligned. Obedience does not erase struggle, but it removes resistance. You have been fighting yourself for too long, questioning, delaying, doubting what you already sensed was necessary. When you step forward, that inner war begins to quiet. You stop arguing with conviction. You stop replaying what if. You stop living in mental loops. Scripture says, "In all your ways acknowledge him, and he will make your paths straight." Straight does not mean smooth, it means clear. After obedience, you stop asking, "Should I have moved?" You start asking, "What is the next step?" That shift is freedom. Hear me carefully now. You will never regret choosing growth. You will never regret choosing truth. You will never regret choosing obedience. But you will regret the seasons you stayed because fear convinced you it was wisdom. Many people look back on their lives not grieving what they tried, but what they never attempted. Not the risks they took, but the calling they postponed. Not the doors that closed, but the ones they were too afraid to open. Fear always promises protection, but it delivers stagnation. I am not calling you forward to harm you. I am calling you forward to expand you. You have survived long enough. Now it is time to live aligned. You are still trying to control how the future unfolds. Release that. Obedience is not a contract that guarantees comfort. It is a relationship that guarantees presence. Sometimes stepping forward leads to immediate relief. Other times it leads to resistance before resolution. But in both cases, you are never outside my care. Joseph stepped forward into betrayal before promotion. David stepped forward into exile before the crown. Peter stepped forward onto water before understanding his faith. Outcome does not determine obedience's value. Alignment does. Even if the first result is discomfort, do not retreat. Even if the first response is uncertainty, do not panic. Even if the first season feels unfamiliar, do not return. Forward does not always feel good immediately, but it always leads somewhere truer. That inner restlessness you couldn't explain? That dissatisfaction that didn't make sense logically? That quiet urge to change something, leave something, Begin something? That was not confusion. That was direction. I do not push my children with fear. I lead them with conviction. When something no longer fits, it begins to feel heavy. When a season ends, staying starts to feel uncomfortable. When growth is required, comfort becomes restrictive. You are not ungrateful. You are not unstable. You are not losing your way. You are being called forward. So hear me now, and let this settle deep. Do not be afraid to step forward. I am already there. Do not fear what you cannot see. I am guiding what you cannot control. Do not shrink back because the path feels unfamiliar. You were never meant to remain where you outgrew yourself. You are not reckless for moving. You are obedient. You are not abandoning safety. You are walking into alignment. What waits ahead is not destruction. It is development. Not loss, but transformation. Not punishment, but purpose. Step forward. I am with you in the uncertainty. I am with you in the transition. I am with you in what comes next. And you will not walk alone.